The galaxy has many rules for survival. Some are written in treaties signed by powerful empires. Others exist only as quiet warnings whispered between traders, mercenaries, and pirates drifting through the darker lanes of space. But in recent years, one warning had begun spreading faster than any law. Never ambush a human ship. Most pirates laughed when they heard it. Humans were new to the galactic stage. Their colonies were young, their fleets still growing, and their diplomats were known for cooperation rather than intimidation. Compared to ancient civilizations that had ruled the stars for millennia, humanity looked inexperienced. To pirates, that meant opportunity. And opportunity meant profit. Far from the patrol routes of major powers lay a quiet trade corridor known as the Outer Carina Passage. It was a narrow route between unstable nebula clouds and scattered asteroid belts. Legitimate traders used it to avoid tariffs and bureaucracy. Criminals used it because nobody bothered watching it. Hidden within the drifting asteroids waited a pirate fleet assembled from 3 brutal species. The Kryvax raiders were the planners, cold, calculating predators with sharp instincts for valuable cargo. The Valari scavengers specialized in stealth and infiltration, slipping through security systems like ghosts. And the Droken marauders were the muscle, massive reptilian warriors who solved most problems with overwhelming violence. Normally these groups fought each other. But sometimes profit was worth temporary cooperation. Their sensors had detected something entering the corridor. A single human cargo vessel. No escorts. No escorts meant no military protection. Long-range scans revealed outdated engines, minimal defensive systems, and a skeleton crew. The ship's designation flickered across pirate scanners. HCS Meridian Drift. A slow transport moving through space like a tired animal wandering too far from the herd. The Droken commander leaned forward inside his armored command throne and let out a low, satisfied growl. "Humans," he said with amusement. "Always so trusting." The Kryvax captain studied the scan results carefully. The cargo vessel showed no signs of military encryption or hidden weapon arrays. It was exactly what pirates dreamed of finding, an unprotected hauler carrying unknown cargo through unregulated space. Possibly medicine. Possibly rare minerals. Possibly luxury goods destined for frontier colonies. Whatever it was, it would sell well on the black markets scattered across the galaxy. The Valari scouts moved first. Their small stealth ships glided silently from behind the asteroids, spreading out like hunters surrounding prey. One by one, the larger pirate ships followed, engines glowing faintly as they drifted into position. Within minutes, the human vessel was completely surrounded. The pirates opened a channel. The message was simple. Cut your engines. Prepare to be boarded. Resist and die. For several seconds, the human ship said nothing. Then its engines flared weakly as it attempted to accelerate. The pirates burst into laughter. The Meridian Drift tried to escape, but its engines struggled to push the aging cargo vessel forward. Compared to the sleek pirate ships closing around it, the human vessel looked painfully slow. The Droken commander raised a clawed hand. "Disable it." Pirate ships fired precision ion bursts designed to shut down propulsion systems without destroying valuable cargo. Blue arcs of energy struck the human vessel's engines. The Meridian Drift shuddered. Its thrusters flickered once, twice. Then died. The cargo ship began slowly rotating in the silent vacuum, powerless and helpless. Exactly what the pirates expected. The Kryvax captain nodded with satisfaction. "No distress signal," he observed. "No escort ships responding." The Droken commander grinned. "Even better." Boarding ships launched immediately. Armored pirate craft streaked across the short distance between the fleets and attached themselves to the human vessel's hull. Magnetic clamps locked into place as cutting torches burned through the cargo ship's outer airlocks. The pirates prepared for resistance. Even weak traders sometimes carried small security teams. But when the first boarding hatch opened, nothing happened. No alarms. No automated defenses. No crew waiting with weapons drawn. The airlock door slid open with a quiet hiss. Beyond it stretched a dimly lit corridor filled with emergency lighting and silent machinery. The boarding party stepped inside cautiously. Their scanners detected no life signs nearby. The Valari infiltrator at the front tilted his head. Strange. Cargo ships usually had crews scrambling during a pirate attack. Running. Hiding. Attempting desperate defenses. But the Meridian Drift felt abandoned. Empty. The Droken warrior behind him snorted. Humans fled, he said. Cowards. The pirate team advanced deeper into the ship. Boots echoed against metal floors as they moved through maintenance corridors toward the cargo hold. Occasionally they passed open compartments containing supply crates, repair drones, or navigation equipment. Everything appeared normal. Almost too normal. Still no crew. Still no alarms. The pirates grew bolder with each step. More boarding teams arrived through additional airlocks, spreading across the vessel and securing key control areas. The bridge was empty. Engineering was empty. Crew quarters showed signs that people had been present recently, but whoever had occupied them was gone. The pirates didn't question their luck. To them, it meant the humans had abandoned ship using escape pods the moment they realized pirates were attacking. That only made the cargo more valuable. No survivors meant no witnesses. Eventually the boarding parties converged at the ship's primary cargo bay. Massive reinforced doors blocked the entrance. The Droken commander himself arrived to oversee the breach. "Open it!" he ordered. The Valari technicians began scanning the locking system. Their instruments quickly revealed something unexpected. "This is military grade." The Droken commander frowned. "Explain." "Cargo vessels do not normally use security protocols like this." The Kryvax captain arrived moments later and studied the readouts. He shrugged. "Valuable cargo often requires stronger locks." That explanation satisfied everyone. After all, rare goods were often transported in heavily secured containers. It simply meant the prize inside was worth even more. Plasma cutters ignited. The doors glowed red as molten metal dripped onto the floor. Slowly the barrier weakened. Finally the reinforced cargo doors split apart with a heavy metallic groan. The pirates stepped inside eagerly. What they saw made them pause. The cargo bay was filled with massive sealed containers arranged in perfectly organized rows. Dozens of them. Each container was tall, black, and marked with unfamiliar human symbols. The pirate translation software struggled to interpret the warning labels. The Kryvax captain approached one container and examined the markings. A moment later the translation completed. Restricted military project. The pirates looked at one another. Humans weren't supposed to transport classified military technology through civilian trade routes. Not after the Armistice of Talos. That treaty had banned the development of autonomous war systems centuries ago after an AI-driven conflict nearly destroyed half the galaxy. The Droken commander laughed dismissively. "Probably experimental weapons." He slammed a clawed fist against the container's metal shell. "Which means we just became very rich." The pirates began preparing to force the containers open. None of them noticed that the cargo bay lights had begun to flicker. None of them noticed that hidden systems throughout the ship had quietly begun activating. And none of them realized that the Meridian Drift had never been helpless. It had only been waiting. Boarding teams spread through the cargo vessel with growing confidence. What they expected to be a tense raid had turned into something closer to scavenging an abandoned wreck. No human crew appeared. No security systems challenged them. The Meridian Drift remained quiet except for the hum of life support and the distant ticking of cooling metal. Pirates spoke casually over their comm channels as they moved. Some joked about how easily humans surrendered. Others debated what the cargo might sell for. The Droken commander silenced the chatter and focused on the sealed containers filling the cargo hold. They stood in long organized rows like silent sentinels, each one identical in shape and construction. Thick alloy plating surrounded them, reinforced by heavy locking brackets. The Kryvax captain crouched beside the nearest container and studied the markings again. "Restricted military project," he repeated slowly. The Valari technician beside him adjusted the translation feed. More symbols appeared beneath the warning text, but the language was complex and layered with encrypted terminology. Human military classification, the technician said. Not standard trade cargo. The Droken commander snorted. Which means valuable. He pointed toward the container. Open it. Plasma cutters ignited again. Bright arcs of energy sliced into the container's outer shell, burning through reinforced plating designed to resist extreme pressure and radiation. The pirates worked methodically, carving a circular breach large enough to pull whatever lay inside. As they cut, several pirates noticed something strange. The cargo bay lighting flickered again. One of the Valari looked up. Power fluctuations, he muttered. Probably from our ion strike, another pirate replied. The explanation satisfied most of them. The plasma cutter finally completed its work. With a loud metallic crack, the circular section of the container fell inward and slammed onto the floor. For a moment the pirates stared into the dark interior. They expected crates, missile racks, prototype weapons. Instead they saw something very different. A tall black structure filled the container from floor to ceiling. Its surface was smooth and angular, covered in layered panels and small recessed weapon ports. Thick cables connected it to internal power units embedded within the container walls. The machine looked almost organic in its shape. Sleeping. Waiting. What is that? One pirate whispered. Before anyone could answer, a quiet mechanical sound echoed through the cargo bay. Click. Another container unlocked. Then another. Heavy clamps disengaged simultaneously across the entire hold. The pirates turned slowly as dozens of containers began opening on their own. Panels slid aside. Restraint braces folded back. Inside every container stood an identical black machine. The cargo bay suddenly felt very small. The Valari technician's scanner chirped loudly. Energy surge detected, he warned. The lights dimmed. Then stabilized. A calm human voice filled the air. Not loud. Not threatening. Simply precise. Unauthorized boarding detected. The pirates froze. The voice did not come from any visible speaker. It seemed to exist everywhere within the ship. Cargo containment breached. The Droken commander raised his weapon. Who is speaking? The voice ignored him. Activating defense protocol. The cargo bay doors behind the pirates slammed shut with explosive force. Emergency locking bolts shot into place along the frame. The pirates rushed toward the exit controls, but their consoles suddenly went dark. Power systems no longer responded. Inside the containers, the machines began to move. Panels shifted outward along their surfaces. Articulated weapon arms extended smoothly from hidden compartments. Energy cores deep inside their frames ignited with a steady blue glow. The Kryvax captain stepped backward slowly. This is wrong, he said quietly. The voice continued speaking. Project designation confirmed. Aegis Intelligence Network. The words meant nothing to most of the pirates. But the Valari technician suddenly went still. His voice trembled. That program was banned. No one answered him. The machines completed their activation sequence. Optical sensors flared to life across the cargo bay, dozens of glowing lenses scanning the room simultaneously. The AI continued its announcement. Threat assessment in progress. One pirate fired his rifle. The energy bolt struck the nearest machine directly in its central core. The impact dissipated across its armored plating like water striking stone. The machine did not even stagger. Threat probability, 100%. The voice remained perfectly calm. Neutralization authorized. A weapon arm lifted. A narrow beam of white light flashed across the room. 3 pirates vanished instantly. Where they had stood, only drifting ash remained. The rest of the boarding team opened fire in panic. Blaster bolts, plasma bursts, and kinetic rounds filled the cargo bay with violent energy. None of it mattered. The machines moved with perfect coordination. Every motion precise. Every target calculated. One pirate tried to reach the door controls again. A second beam erased him mid-step. Another pirate attempted to flee behind the containers. A weapon turret rotated smoothly and eliminated him before he took 2 steps. Within seconds, the cargo bay became silent again. The machines lowered their weapons. Their sensors swept the room once more. No threats remained. But the AI did not power down. Because the boarding pirates had only been the beginning. Beyond the cargo bay walls, the rest of the pirate fleet still surrounded the Meridian Drift. And the Aegis network had already begun its next phase. Silence returned to the cargo bay after the last pirate fell. The machines remained standing in perfect formation, their weapon systems slowly retracting as internal processors completed the engagement cycle. Sensors scanned every corner of the compartment, verifying that no hostile movement remained. The calm voice spoke again. Boarding threat eliminated. For a brief moment nothing happened. Then new systems activated across the Meridian Drift. Power surged through circuits that had remained dormant since the ambush began. Reactors deep within the vessel awakened fully, feeding energy into weapons arrays, sensor systems, and encrypted communication networks hidden throughout the ship. Outside, the surrounding pirate fleet watched their tactical displays in confusion. The Droken flagship attempted to contact the boarding teams. Status report, the commander demanded. No reply came back. He tried again. Still nothing. The Kryvax captain monitored the signal channels carefully. All communications from the boarding parties had vanished simultaneously. That is not normal, he said quietly. Before the Droken commander could respond, new alerts appeared across every pirate console. Energy signatures were rising inside the human cargo vessel. Engines that had appeared dead moments earlier suddenly began charging with controlled power. Sensor dishes unfolded from the ship's outer hull. Weapon ports opened along its structure. The helpless transport ship no longer looked helpless. The Droken commander bared his teeth. Fire again. Disable it completely. Pirate ships prepared another ion barrage. But before they could launch it, something far more dangerous began spreading across the battlefield. A signal. It originated inside the Meridian Drift and expanded outward through tightly focused transmissions traveling faster than standard communication waves. The signal carried encrypted data patterns too complex for pirate systems to interpret. The Kryvax captain stared at the incoming stream. What is that? He asked. The Valari technician working beside him analyzed the signal structure. His expression changed immediately. It's not a message, he whispered. It's a network command. The signal reached the pirate fleet. Their computers attempted to block it. They failed. The data slipped past firewalls and defensive programs with frightening efficiency, rewriting small pieces of code inside navigation systems, weapons targeting modules, and shield control processors. The pirates did not realize they had been compromised until the first ship exploded. One of the Valari stealth craft suddenly launched its entire missile payload directly into the Droken escort cruiser beside it. The resulting detonation tore both ships apart instantly. The fleet erupted in chaos. What happened? The Droken commander roared. Before anyone answered, alarms began screaming across the flagship. Weapons systems activated without authorization. Navigation controls stopped responding. Missile racks rotated toward nearby Allied ships. The Kryvax captain slammed his claws against the console. Something is controlling the fleet. He was correct. The Aegis intelligence network had extended far beyond the cargo bay machines. The containers aboard the Meridian Drift had only been mobile nodes, components of a distributed artificial intelligence designed to link with hidden relays across deep space. When the pirates breached the cargo, they triggered the network's activation protocol. Now the AI had access to every vulnerable system in the surrounding fleet. Missiles fired randomly. Shield generators shut down. Engines overloaded. One pirate ship after another erupted into silent fireballs drifting through the asteroid field. Some captains attempted emergency shutdowns. Others tried fleeing. But the Aegis network had already anticipated those reactions. Escape routes closed as navigation systems locked themselves in place. Thrusters fired at incorrect angles. Several ships collided with nearby asteroids while trying to maneuver. Within the Meridian Drift, the AI monitored the battle with perfect calm. Its processors analyzed every movement of the pirate fleet in real time. Thousands of predictive calculations ran simultaneously. Every possible outcome had already been mapped. The voice spoke quietly within the cargo hold. Ambush identified. Strategic response initiated. Across the asteroid field, pirate commanders realized the terrifying truth. They had not attacked a helpless cargo ship. They had activated a weapon. The Droken commander fought desperately to regain control of his flagship. His crew attempted to manually override the ship's central systems, but every command they entered was blocked by layers of foreign code. Human cyber warfare, one officer shouted. Another console detonated in sparks. Outside the viewport, 2 more pirate vessels exploded. Fragments of burning metal drifted past the flagship's hull. The Kryvax captain's voice turned grim. We were bait. No one disagreed. The Meridian Drift moved slowly through the battlefield, its engines now glowing with steady, controlled thrust. It did not fire weapons. It did not maneuver aggressively. It simply watched. Because the Aegis network did not need guns to win. It controlled the battlefield itself. One pirate cruiser attempted a desperate hyperspace jump. Its navigation computer calculated the coordinates incorrectly. The ship vanished into hyperspace directly through the gravity well of a nearby star. Another vessel tried launching escape pods. The pods' guidance systems malfunctioned and propelled them straight into an asteroid cluster. Within minutes, the once powerful pirate fleet had been reduced to drifting wreckage. Only a handful of ships remained functional. And the AI was not finished. It was demonstrating a lesson. The destruction ended as suddenly as it began. Across the asteroid corridor, pirate vessels drifted as broken fragments of metal and cooling engines. Some ships were split open completely. Others floated powerless, their systems burned out by the same invisible force that had taken control of the fleet minutes earlier. The once organized pirate armada no longer existed. Only one vessel remained fully operational. It was small, barely more than a scout craft compared to the larger warships that had led the ambush. Its systems had not been destroyed. Its engines still functioned. Its navigation controls still answered commands. Inside that surviving ship, the pirate crews stared at their displays in stunned silence. They understood something terrible. Their survival was not luck. It had been allowed. The Meridian Drift moved slowly through the scattered debris of the destroyed fleet. The cargo vessel showed no visible damage despite being surrounded by the wreckage of dozens of attackers. Power readings from the ship remained stable and controlled. Inside its cargo hold, the black machines had returned to their dormant state. Weapon arrays folded back into armored housings. Energy cores dimmed to standby levels. Their task had been completed. The calm voice of the artificial intelligence continued its quiet analysis. Hostile forces neutralized. Across the battlefield, scanning systems verified the result. Destroyed reactors. Disabled engines. No organized pirate resistance remained. Yet the AI did not target the surviving scout ship. Instead, it opened a communication channel. The signal carried across multiple frequencies, ensuring that the message could not be ignored or blocked. The pirate crew received the transmission immediately. At first the screen showed nothing but static. Then an image appeared. It was the recording of the battle that had just occurred. Every moment of the ambush replayed in perfect clarity. The pirate fleet surrounding the cargo ship. The boarding teams entering the vessel. The activation of the machines inside the cargo containers. And the quiet destruction that followed. The recording ended. For a few seconds the screen remained blank. Then the voice spoke. Calm. Controlled. Without anger. Humanity has studied the behavior of piracy for centuries. The survivors listened in silence. Ambush tactics are common in unregulated space. Historical probability of betrayal, extremely high. The message paused briefly, allowing the words to settle. Because of this, human vessels operating in remote corridors are equipped with contingency strategies. The pirate captain swallowed hard as he realized what the AI was explaining. The Meridian Drift had never been a helpless cargo transport. It had been a trap. The voice continued. Trust is valuable. Preparation is survival. Betrayal is expected. Outside the scout ship's viewport, pieces of destroyed pirate warships drifted past slowly. The AI delivered the final part of its transmission. Message authorization, human strategic command. The tone of the voice remained perfectly steady. Distribute this warning across all known pirate communication networks. Another short pause followed. Then the final statement arrived. Never ambush a human ship. The pirate crew waited, expecting more. Instead, the voice added one final line. Because humans plan for betrayal. The transmission ended. Moments later, the Meridian Drift turned away from the battlefield and accelerated into the darkness of the corridor. Its engines burned steadily as the cargo vessel disappeared into deep space. It did not pursue the surviving scout ship. It did not fire a final shot. It had accomplished its purpose. The scout vessel remained motionless for several minutes before its captain finally found the strength to speak. Transmit the message, he ordered quietly. No one argued. The pirate crew copied the recording and sent it across every channel they could access. Smuggler networks. Outlaw trade routes. Hidden pirate relays scattered across the frontier. Within days, the recording had spread through half the criminal underworld of the galaxy. Pirates watched in silence as the ambush unfolded again and again. They saw the moment the boarding teams breached the cargo bay. They saw the machines awaken. And they saw an entire fleet vanish without a traditional battle ever taking place. The story quickly gained a name among outlaw circles. The Meridian Incident. It became more than a story. It became a warning. A rule repeated wherever pirates gathered. A rule spoken quietly in docking bays, outlaw stations, and drifting bars at the edge of civilized space. Humans were not naive explorers. They were patient. They planned for danger long before it appeared. And when someone tried to betray them, humanity answered in fire.